Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. As a lot of you know, my channel is mostly like funny stuff and goofy videos and musicallys and Yahoo answers and that type of stuff. I love doing those videos as well. But whenever I do these kinds of like personal, like kind of more serious, like a life type of videos, a lot of people seem to like it. So I think I'm gonna do some more of these because, you know, whether it comes to like dating, career, self-improvement, lifestyle, whatever, like I've kind of been all over the map. For those of you who watch my channel for any amount of time, you see my videos about, you know, being homeless and getting a job and doing stuff. Like I've been around, you know. I've been around a few places, so I do have a lot of things to say about this type of little more serious topics. So, you know, if you like this type of stuff, let me know. I'll certainly do more because I do have a lot to say. Now, one of the things I want to talk about, one of the things that, you know, is important to everybody, and this has kind of come up as a topic. I've been watching YouTube videos and listening to like some of the new podcasts that some YouTubers do now and then, and one of the things they bring up a lot is how, like, you know, when YouTubers, they rise and then they fall again. Obviously, the most recent example of this is Leafy is here. Leafy is someone who used to make, on average, $200,000 a month, right? And then after the algorithm changed and after who knows what went on in the back end, now suddenly his channel is dropping like crazy, and now he's earning, you know, $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And he is super depressed about it. He's taking drugs like Adderall and stuff now. He's taking a break from YouTube because he's like, oh, I just can't handle how much I've dropped. And this is a point that I kind of want to build into a bigger point, which is, you know, what does it take to actually be happy? Now, this might be kind of weird and maybe a little existential. Like, for example, if I hit YouTube and I was super big for like a year, whatever, like Leafy was, and I was making $200,000 a month and I saved up, you know, $1 or $2 million, and then I dropped again. I mean, if it was me, I'd be like, okay, I have this sweet bank account. I never have to work again as long as I'm smart about it. Let's plan this out. But, you know, when you have someone in Leafy's position who blows up all of a sudden, gets really big, and then drops all of a sudden. Now, using this particular point as an example, I want to kind of expand on this idea of what is happiness and how do you achieve it? When do you achieve it? And why aren't you happy? Basically, it boils down to a lot of different aspects I see, because I'm not trying to like brag about it, but it has really shaped my view of the world, which is, you know, when I lost everything and I was homeless and I rebuilt my life from literal zero, you know, and it really changes your perspective on how the world works. One of the things about kind of modern day society and sort of, I mean, I guess capitalism in a way, is just how it's like, we're always told to want more, to always want more, better, bigger, faster, never be satisfied, right? You know, when it comes to a job, it's like you always need to find the next client, you need to find the next project, you need to get bigger and bigger, right? Businesses are always trying to increase sales, and you know, when it comes to like housing, it's like you want to be moving up, you want to get into a better neighborhood, a bigger house, a better this, a bigger TV, get the newest PlayStation, the newest Xbox. It's all about more, bigger, and better. And so we're kind of raised to be told that like enough does not exist, and never be satisfied, always be hungry and thirsty for more. And that is a really great philosophy when it comes to ambition about doing something, but as a lifestyle, it just makes you unhappy because it's like someone else has more than me. I don't have enough. How much is enough? What does enough mean? Well, there isn't enough because you need to have more. You need to get bigger and better. I mean, for example, so many people that I know personally, and I used to be like this myself, it was always like, I need more money. Right? I wish I had more money is a mantra everybody says, except maybe PewDiePie. I mean, one phrase I hear a lot from people on YouTube, people in my real life, people I work with sometimes, is like, I wish I had more money. I wish just $100 or $200 more a month, and that would fix all my problems and I would be happy. And I guarantee that's not the truth. Because if you're like having a hard time, if you're struggling to use your money now, then when you get an extra $100 or $200 a month, you're still gonna struggle then. Why? Because the more money you get, the more money you're going to spend. The whole point about like always want more, always be thirsty for more, is that your standard, the line of what is normal, what is acceptable, what is standard, is always increasing, right? Like a good example is like video games, right? Let's look at video game graphics, for example, right? Take modern day video games like, you know, your latest Call of Duty or Gears of War 4 or whatever, and these games look amazing. And once you play these games, you go back and you play a PS2 game or a PS1 game, and it's like, whoa, these controls are terrible, these graphics are terrible, I can't even play this anymore. But of course, back in the day, that was considered like, wow, look at Metal Gear Solid 1's graphics, it looks so good. Or for example, go watch Toy Story 3, then go back and watch Toy Story 1. Toy Story 1 looks like absolute garbage because the standard is always increasing. And this is true kind of in life in general. It's like when you have this amount of money, you spend this amount of money. or maybe a little bit more because people always want more. And then it's like, okay, if I just had an extra $100 a month, it would fix all my problems and I would be happy. Then you get $100 a month, but now the line increases. And now this is the standard, and now you can never go back to what it used to be. It's the same reason why people get addicted to like hard drugs, because you start, a little bit, you get high for 15 minutes, and then you do the same amount, you only get high for 10 minutes, and now it's like, I gotta do more. Well, now I need more drugs, and it escalates because you're always trying to get back. If you go above this line, then it's like, great, wow, wonderful, awesome. And if you ever dip below that line, suddenly it's like, my life is over, my life is terrible, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, everyone is so concerned with like looking to the future or worrying about the past that no one enjoys the now. And this is, I think, one of the most important things is like, life is happening right now, and a lot of people never enjoy it. Because everyone is so concerned about where they're going and where they've been, no one really stops to appreciate where they are. It's like if you're driving a car, you're constantly looking in the rearview mirrors, trying to, make sure what's going on behind you, which is good. And then you're always concerned about, okay, 2 more hours till we get to our destination. Hour and a half till we get to our destination. Those things are important. I'm not saying that you should never worry about the future and never think about the past, because that's part of who you are, but enjoy the car ride, right? Listen to an audiobook and the music. Enjoy the scenery. Even if you see the same scenery every single day, enjoy it, because there might come a time when it's not there anymore, or maybe you have to move, or something. It's like, things happen all the time, so just appreciate the fact that you're there now doing whatever it is you do. Or like airplanes, for example. I love airplane rides. I mean, it's very stressful to prepare and get everything and make sure you get there a couple hours early, and especially if it's international travel like I have to do a lot. And then it's like, we gotta go through all of TSA and customs and immigration, and it's Mad Max. But when I'm in the airplane, for me at least, it's so nice because it's just, I'm there. And unless I feel like paying a whole bunch more money for like really crappy Wi-Fi, I'm pretty much unplugged from the world. Yeah, you can watch movies and TV shows on the little screen, but really it's just you and a whole bunch of people around you that you can just tune out and ignore, and you can just be. You can just exist. And it's like, you can read a book, you can sleep, you can read a magazine, you can think about things. Like for me, it's like, think of video ideas or like story ideas or just things you can do. It's like, there's so much you can do, in your own mind. And so many people are so, they're worried about like, oh, it's a 7-hour flight. Oh, I can't believe it's going to be so long. Great! A long flight where you don't have any responsibilities at all. You have to do nothing. You just have to breathe and not die. That's your job for 7 hours. Or like some people, they work a job, it's really boring, right? It's like, I'm really bored, I'm getting paid to just stand here and do nothing. That sounds like a wonderful job to me. It's like, hey, I have to sit behind this desk and do this thing, for 8 hours a day. I get paid, but it's really boring. Well, some people have jobs that are really dangerous or really stressful, and they go home and they're super tired, and they're like, they get hurt a lot on the job and stuff. And it's like, you get paid to do nothing. This is what I mean, where it's like, keeping the perspective of like, instead of being concerned about where you could be or where you think you should be, or what you could have if only you had more of this or less of that, it's like, just appreciate what you are and where you are. And I know people say this a lot, and it's kind of cliche at this moment, and I get that maybe you're kind of cringing at right now, but it's so true. People who are so concerned about getting more and getting bigger and better, a lot of them are really miserable, because it's like, nothing ever satisfies you. You are never happy. Like YouTube is a great example, right? When I did my 2,000 subscriber video, I said how to a lot of people on YouTube, 2,000 subs would be kind of a joke. But because I worked so hard to get here, it took me so long to get just 2,000 subs. I appreciate every single sub that I get. Every single individual person means a lot to me, because there's so few, but they're so dedicated. I see the same people comment on every video, and I really appreciate it. I'm not in this for the money or the fame, because obviously I have neither of these things, but I do it because I really enjoy it. I'm enjoying this journey. If I ever get to 1 million, great. But it's like, it's so easy to be like, oh, I wish I had 100,000. I wish I had 1 million. Why does this person? Why doesn't that person? Of course, having a goal, having a dream and ambition is very important. I'm not saying you shouldn't have that. I'm saying, instead of focusing solely on the destination, you should also enjoy the journey, because when you're at the destination, then what? But until you reach there, you have things to do and you have skills to learn and ways to grow and experiences to have and failures to learn from. But when you're there at the destination, it's like, what do you do? Using YouTube as an example, everyone who starts YouTube wants to be big. That's a fact. Everyone wants to hit 100,000 or 1,000,000 subs. That's a fact. But you have some people who get lucky, right? You got your Tana Mojos and your Mike Foxes and your Leafies and whoever, who either through the internet or through other YouTubers or Twitter, whatever, they get shouted out, they get, collab with this person, they whatever, and somehow magically, boom, they explode, they get hundreds of thousands or millions of subs theoretically overnight. I mean, Rice Gum hit 5 million subs in 1 year. And so they've hit their destination of like, I want 1,000,000 subs, I want 5 million subs, and they get there and they have no idea what to do anymore. Because it's like, okay, now suddenly I have all this money and all this fame. I mean, one of the joys of being a very, very tiny, small YouTuber is like, every subscriber who subscribes, I appreciate individually. And I can sort of learn as I go, right? I can learn better camera stuff, better lighting stuff, better sound, better editing techniques. I can learn about how social media works, and I can learn about, how to do things with YouTube and sort of how to improve my craft as someone who sits in front of a camera and just kind of vomits out words. Every single step of the journey I can appreciate, I can learn from, and it's something that I earned and I worked on myself. When you have people who just blow up for no particular reason, who just get lucky, I mean, that's really good for them, but like, there's no growth there. And then of course, later on, we've seen this again with like Leafy is here and with, a couple other YouTubers where it's like, they just get so unhappy. They just become unhappy, because the goal was to get big, to get subs. And instead of having a long journey where they kind of enjoyed it and where they kind of learned from it, they just hit their goal. And then now what? I know this video is kind of rambly, and that's kind of the point. It's just kind of me talking about this specific topic. But the point I'm trying to make here is like, the reason why people are unhappy, why you personally maybe are unhappy, is just, it's all about the perspective, right? It's like, when you're homeless and you're super hungry and you find bread crusts, they taste amazing to you. Holding on to that idea that like, you could lose anything at any time and no one deserves anything, but you've worked to where you are now. Keeping that in mind, I guarantee will keep you very happy. I mean, some of the most unhappy people I know are very rich. It's just a fact. It's just kind of how it goes. Like people who get really rich, their standard line of what is acceptable is so high that like they can never live a normal life. They just can't. Mentally, they just cannot do that. So to sum all this up, the point I'm trying to make here is if you want to be happy, enjoy the now. Enjoy where you are. Even if it's not where you want to be, enjoy the fact that you're there and that you've come that far. Keep in mind how much worse things could be. I know it's kind of cliche, like, well, things could be worse. There's people living in Africa with whatever. But it's true though. It's like things could be worse. Look at what you do have, not what you don't have. Look at how far you've come, not how far you have left to go. So anyway, whether it comes to your job, your personal life, YouTube, whatever it is you want to do, just appreciate the journey. Appreciate the fact that you're learning as you go. Take every opportunity to gain more experience. Because there's a lot of people who don't get the experience, but they get the result. And they don't care. They're completely unhappy about it. This is where a lot of people kind of lose sight of everything. They lose perspective. And that's the thing. Everything in life, and I'm not that old, I'm not some like life coach guru, whatever, but it's just like, everything is perspective. Everything is perspective. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to make this video, just listening to some podcasts and some other videos of people on YouTube and just kind of in life in general, and hear what their complaints are. And it's just like, well, I mean, like, Leafy used to earn $200,000 a month. Now he earns between $10,000 and $15,000 a month, according to Social Blade. And he's like super depressed about it because his standard line is so high. There's like no way anything can match up to it, right? To like 99% of the world, $10,000 a month would be insane money. I mean, that would be an amazing salary, right? For just making YouTube videos once a day, like that would be amazing. But to Leafy, it's not good enough. So he's unhappy. So keeping things in perspective, enjoying what you do have instead of not. Instead of always reaching for bigger, better, more, don't stop looking for the newest and the best and like, oh, I gotta get bigger, gotta get better, I gotta keep going. Because it never ends. It never ends. You will never be happy unless you let yourself. Anyway, guys, just want to make this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Am I a total crackpot? Let me know. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I got videos coming 2 or 3 days a week, and I hope you enjoy some of them. Anyway, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.